Welcome to another episode of The Building Code. I'm Zach Witovich.
And I'm Charley Burtwhistle.
Are we always going to say our names? We might need to switch it up.
I think I've said your name before.
Yeah.
Actually, I know I did. I just watched the episode, and then I said being Zach Witovich would be my worst nightmare.
It's almost like we're trying to be like, no, we're still the host. Like,
yeah. Well, we were. I don't know if we ever officially removed our interim titles. I think so.
I hope not.
Permanent.
That'd be really
host.
Great. Yeah.
Today is my sister's birthday.
Oh my gosh.
So happy birthday, Samantha.
Huge shout out.
Funny
Happy
because
birthday, Samantha.
I guess technically today is not my sister's birthday when we're recording this.
Yeah.
But it will go live on my sister's birthday.
We're getting real meta on the intro on this
And
pod.
if there's any other Samanthas listening whose birthday happens to be today, happy birthday to you guys too.
Hit us up on Twitter if it's your Samantha. It's your birthday.
No doubt, Zach. Mr. Social Media says hit us up on Twitter. That's enough fun. Let's get into the business today.
What do you mean? The Building Code's always fun. Tell us who we have on the podcast, Charley.
Yeah, you just skipped over what I was going to say. Today we have Amanda Geer, who was recently at a Buildertrend University, and this happens every now and then, rarely. Our marketing team or one of the C-suite people will meet someone and is just blown away and says, you guys have to have them on the podcast. They're incredible. That happened with Amanda Geer. So we are lucky, Zach and I and our listeners are lucky enough to meet her today because she made a big impact at Buildertrend University.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's an office administrator at Popularis Construction, and they're based out of Massachusetts, which I've never been to. It's on the bucket list.
Yep.
But we're here to talk to her a little bit about her BTU experience, her business, a new feature that we're rolling out that I'm also very excited about.
Okay.
So without further ado, let's get Amanda in here. Hey, Amanda, welcome to the Building Code. It's great to have you here. First time on the podcast. How are you?
I'm great. I'm super excited to be here. I can't wait to dive in.
Love it. Love it. First time on a podcast ever? I always like to ask people that.
Yeah, never. We've never been on one before.
Yeah.
So
This is a lot of big time podcasters got their start on the Building Code. So we like to think of ourselves as
Don't fact
jumping
check
off
that one.
platform here.
I'm launching my podcast career from here.
Yeah, we're a well-known launch pad for a lot of successful podcasts. People don't talk about that enough.
So, Amanda, you were recently in Omaha at a Buildertrend University. Before you hopped on, people in the booth were just raving about you, that they got to know you here in Omaha. But for our listeners that were not fortunate enough to meet you, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at Popularis, and just kind of the company you work at?
So my name's Amanda. We went over that already. But I am the office administrator for Popularis Construction. And I've been here coming up on my second year now, which is very exciting. I've been with the company for 2 years, and I have a background, with finance. I have a degree in finance. And I deal with all of the payments for our AP and all of our subcontractors and all that to kind of keep that going on our end.
Awesome. And then Popularis, I was clicking around on your website a little bit. It sounds like you guys kind of dip your toe in a few different areas. So can you tell us kind of a little overview of the company?
Yeah. So we do large scale renovations and we do some commercial tenant fit outs. So some of our bigger projects that we've done are some like higher end kitchen renovations, bathrooms, master bathrooms. We've done additions. We just finished our first new home build this last couple months. So we've kind of touched our toes in a little bit of different areas there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the work on your guys' website looks incredible. I'm currently
do a really good job.
Yeah, I'm currently going through the home buying, selling process. So I've been looking at a ton of homes. So I am slowly and surely training my eye to spot good work.
That's what we've learned from our guests on the Building Code. We're turning Charley into quite the designer's eyes coming out.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the pics of his house.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned earlier, you're here at Buildertrend or here in Omaha for Buildertrend University. How was that experience?
It was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I
want to unpack that.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've never even been on a business trip before or gone to conferences like that. So that was something new for me. But I wasn't sure really what to expect. But it was just a lot more fun and a very engaging environment than I could have expected. It's I learned a lot. I thought I knew a lot, and I learned even more than I thought I knew. So that was, and learned different ways to use the program that other people have used it. That was huge for me, just to learn different ways to use the same things that I do.
Love that. We put on a good show for sure, and people always come
Yeah.
around with. I love talking. I'm a Buildertrend super user. I'm like, all right, game on. Here we go. Let's see what you really know. That's all. That's an amazing that you said that. I always like to ask people. They're like, is it because it's Omaha? Is it like I'm in? Boston's nearby. Like I'm going to Nebraska. We always exceed expectations in Old Neb.
It's a classic under promise over
Exactly. Yeah, I'd rather be in that territory.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing that you learned while you're here at BTU?
Well, one of the things I didn't come from a background of construction before I worked here. So learning the takeoff software was something that I found really interesting. That was huge. And to see that it was so user friendly that even I could do it was even better.
There might be a tagline in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, so user friendly, Amanda could do it.
Yeah, takeoff, Buildertrend takeoff, so easy. Even Amanda Geer can do it.
The other really cool thing that I saw in our notes here is you were part of the customer roundtable. That is a fairly new.
Yeah, we haven't always done it.
That's been, I feel like, 3 or 4 iterations of it now. Zach and I, you're not in it, are you?
They won't invite me, which is like,
Yeah, I was gonna say
my team puts it on, and they're like, you can't come.
I was gonna say Zach and I aren't important enough to get the invite, but I wanted to double check with Zach because sometimes he is. But it's essentially kind of taking the best and brightest industry kind of professionals, bringing them into our boardroom with our founders, our C-suite, our executives, and just allowing them to, like it sounds like, have a roundtable discussion around what's happening in the industry. Well, I'm stealing your thunder. Sorry. What was the roundtable experience for you, and could you tell our listeners a little bit about just kind of what transpired?
Yeah, so like you said, we got to sit around in that conference room with all those higher ups. You never think of a company really listening like that with like people that are so in those top roles. And so being able to sit down, talk about what we really liked about the software, what we could see changing, and even giving some suggestions was really cool. Like I never would have thought, and that was I guess one of the best things I even thought about the BTU was that they were actually listening and talking back with us, like, oh, that's a really good idea. We could do this. So like I guess there's a lot of different suggestions that came, and like there was 5 of us, I believe. There was 5 of us that were from BTU. They were in there. And some of us were having the same issues, and we went back and forth with how we could do that a different way, and with the higher ups too. So that was a really cool experience.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, that's why they don't invite us. They're like, Charley and Zach have too many ideas. We need them to just calm down. That's something. Yeah, we haven't been doing that for too long, but I think it actually came from a customer suggestion that they get a chance to kind of talk up, and they went for it. And yeah, I love it. I think that's part, like I'm on the customer success team, so my life is spending talking to customers, and I think it's more powerful when it comes from the customer directly. And so the more people that hear it, the bigger the impact, right? It just really helps you humanize the feedback as opposed to it just being kind of in a sea of feedback, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right. Coming in reports.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say so my background is in data science, and we read in open text fields and stuff like that. We'll go through thousands and tens of thousands of feedback and kind of present it to people to time. And then it's, seeing a chart saying this is what we should do and what we should change versus hearing it from someone for real is just drastically different. So, I mean, that's something Zach and I talked about. We committed to kind of as a company a couple of years ago, and our CEO kind of started it as like we are 100% focusing on the customer moving forward. And I feel like the roundtable is a cool opportunity to learn from the people actually using the product.
Well, so you guys have been Buildertrend customers since 2018?
Yeah. Yep. Roughly. Yep.
Yeah. What's been kind of your evolution of a business with Buildertrend? Like, what were you like before? I know you've only been there about a year, but you probably hear, I call them war stories of the old days, to where you are now.
Oh, a lot of it was all spreadsheets before.
Excel, baby.
Yep.
The amount of things that people run off Excel, I'm like, Excel runs this country. It's kind of impressive. Not to plug Microsoft, they got enough money.
Yeah, no free shout outs.
There's a lot you can do that. Google Sheets too.
I know.
There's a lot you can do.
Finance gal, you've probably got some amazing spreadsheets.
Learning some coding things.
Wow.
And there things move around. So, but yeah, no, we were doing a lot of like internal storage for everything. And now, when they started using Buildertrend, we integrated over there to, we have our QuickBooks integration, we have our file structure, and we're moving, ever since coming back from BTU, we're moving to use even more of it. Like the specifications and things like that. It's changed so much, even in my 2 years being here, and I've seen so much growth that it's made my job even easier.
That was going to be my follow-up. How do you quantify what it has helped you with? So has it saved you time? Is it money? Is it everything? I mean, how do you guys look at Buildertrend, the software, and translate that into what I call value?
Well, it saved a lot, specifically time.
Mm-hmm.
And like when it comes to inputting receipts, when it comes to inputting purchase orders, or even just an invoice for clients, instead of having to wait for a check to come in. Most of our clients are all using the ACH method of making those payments online. It's very rare we see a check now. So now we're not having to wait as long and waiting for a check to have to clear into the bank. That cuts time out of the week. Or even having to wait for that bill to come in. Or same thing with some of our subcontractor payments. We can link all those up and reconcile our stuff a lot easier with QuickBooks, and know when something was paid. It cuts a lot of time out from beginning to end. So that's my huge value I've seen in it.
I love it. I'm fired up.
Yeah, I am too. The ACH payment specifically, I am currently waiting on a check to come in the mail for an insurance claim. And every day that I check the mailbox and it's not there, it drives me insane.
You don't want to see Charley when he's cranky. He gets real diva on the set.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, we need to eliminate the concept of checks completely, and everything should have an ACH.
Everything's in crypto, bro.
I don't know about that.
It's moving that way.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned a few new features you guys are adopting, which is awesome to hear. Zach and I always like learning about kind of the evolution of, because people use Buildertrend for 10 years and roll out something new yesterday, right?
Yeah, it's your story, It's really cool to see how these companies blossom into really, really successful businesses from very humble beginnings.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a couple of the new features that you're using that we want to talk more about, because they're new features for Buildertrend in general, is the cost inbox feature and kind of the OCR receipt management stuff. Could you kind of give a high-level overview for our customers that maybe haven't adopted that, kind of what it is and how you're using it?
So it's been my favorite feature because trying to chase down receipts has been not fun. So the best way I guess I could explain it is the cost inbox is somewhere where you can take your mobile app or your phone, on your phone or your tablet, go into your Buildertrend app, upload a receipt that you've taken like from Home Depot, and it's going to scan all of those line items that are on there, use that AI technology and put it all into that into a folder there with a picture of a file, with a picture of that receipt. And you're able to then go in and code it. It's been a super great feature. And kind of to talk a little bit more about it, in time-wise, that's been the thing I've seen cut down a lot of time for us in having to not manually type things in. So I totally got off topic there. I apologize.
No.
But, it is an amazing feature, and I could not talk more highly of it.
I'm super psyched. So I traveled full time for Buildertrend for 2 years, Amanda. So I would go to people's offices, train them on Buildertrend, and I was always just blown away at the receipt chasing game. I mean, it didn't matter where you're at in the country. Everybody had that pain point. Bookkeepers chasing project managers chasing subs. It's just like so much effort on the paper trail stuff. So I love hearing that you are loving it. I knew people would if we could solve that problem, right? Because it was just like a sore thumb. But it's also great that it's going to be available to all of our customers, because I just know it's something that it's very easy to set up and use. And
it's super easy. Like we don't have very few issues with it.
Yeah. And that's when stuff just like works and it solves a problem. Like it just makes you feel good,
Yeah. Yeah. We've been using it since the testing, when it first came into testing. So being able to see the changes that it's made even from that testing feature and see how much easier it's even gotten is huge.
Did you get to give feedback too?
Yes, I did give feedback. Yep.
Love it. And did we change anything based off your feedback?
I can't remember. I gave more feedback recently when I spoke with Lauren. And I can't remember if anything else came through. But either way, it's still an amazing thing that I've been able to use as a tool.
Yeah.
Just real quick, a fun little backstory about kind of the receipt capture and the OCR technology for taking the picture. That was actually Buildertrend does this thing called a hackathon every year, which is just a 24 to 48 hour window where anyone in the company can participate. They take time off work and pretty much lock themselves in a room and build something cool. And then they present to the whole company and the founders and the C-suite their idea and give it a little demo. And a couple of years ago, someone built the, hey, you can take a picture of the receipt. This OCR technology reads it, brings it into Buildertrend. And we're all sitting in the crowd. We're like, what? Like, it's one of those, like, it seems magic, right? It seems like too good to be true. And I was also participating in a hackathon that year, and I was pissed off because I thought my idea was really cool too. But what are you going to do?
I got best sales pitch, which is the most participation trophy award of all time. Like, you are really good at selling, but we're not doing what you want.
Well, yeah, we did. Our idea that year was the search bar, which did eventually get rolled out. So
look at you taking the victory lap.
But
hey, the search bar is still a really cool feature.
It is.
Anyway, the OCR stuff is really, really cool. So after the receipts get uploaded, you mentioned it goes into Buildertrend. Do you actually then, you mentioned you're synced with QuickBooks, are you able to like pull those like line items in and like expense stuff out, or what's kind of the next step after you get the receipt capture?
So once the receipt capture comes in, I go in and I comment to our project managers that they need to go in, put their codes on there. So then I, from there, will take it and enter it as a bill if it's against the job that it's supposed to be on. Now that it's already coded, it's going to hit there. It's a credit card receipt. I'm not going to sync that over to QuickBooks just because that gets a little messy. But I just match them up at the same time. And then if it's an invoice that we got, I'm going to upload that as a bill, but that one I will sync over to QuickBooks because it's going to be an accounts payable transaction. Because my hands are in it. Once it's been received into the cost inbox, it's all on me after I've got my coding.
Heck yeah. I'm getting like some finance 101 here. I'll take some notes down.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I learned on the road. Is it's an art form as much as it is as a quantitative. It's like there's so many things to consider. Everybody's got a little different process too. That's kind of what's fun. Is like people kind of handle it in their own way, but then the software can make everybody's easier, better. Which was a huge missing piece. It really I always just felt the palpable sense from our finance friends when you'd like solve it. They're like, my weekends, my evenings, I can be I can be done with reconciling in a day, not 2 weeks. It's just all that stuff, and like that's what makes businesses run. It's critical. So love it. Yeah,
I will say when you talked about reconciling, I will say I normally have a list of like receipts I'm missing, and it's drastically dropped with this, because it's just all going into one place. It's amazing. Like my field crew missing some receipts. That's happened. It happens sometimes, but having that feature, they do it right then and there. We have no issues anymore. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's still humans having to get the receipts to the right spot. It's just in a lot more scalable way too.
Yes. Yep. It's a lot easier. You're not having to worry about keeping track of that receipt anymore once you've taken that picture and sent it up. It's great.
Another thing that I think is unique about your guys' process, maybe, I guess you can tell me, is that you actually have all your subcontractors work with you through Buildertrend as well too. So when you're talking about receipt chasing down, I know that was a pain point that Zach mentioned. How do you kind of go about getting them on board with using the software and collaborating with you guys to streamline kind of that communication and storage and receipt management?
We kind of don't really give them a choice. The ones we've gotten online, and using this with us, we want it to be the most organized as possible in using it, and we that's, I guess, our big selling point, is that this is gonna keep everything in one place. You've got all your signatures here. This is why we're gonna use it, and then you don't have to worry about something being missed. Our subcontractors can control, like, sending in their insurance information. They can do a lot from there, but now they don't even have to be signed in anymore, which was great. That was a big selling point too, because not everybody wanted to sign up for something. Right. So even just being able to participate without signing up has been a huge tool in getting them to do it.
So how often are you bringing on new subs, or your relationship with subs? You're using the same crews pretty consistently?
It's kind of a mix. Consistently right now, we're using a lot of the same ones at the moment. But if we found somebody that we really want to work with, we'll bring them on, do our whole process with, requesting their certificates and everything, and introducing them to Buildertrend if they've never been introduced to it before.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to ask. So you guys have an onboarding kind of plan, you show them a little bit of the platform, you kind of get them, here's how you're going to get paid, here's how you request payment sort of process.
Yeah, so we have a whole email templated out. Nice. That talks about this is how we get our bids submitted, and things like that, and then what our payment terms are, and then we also send them out that Buildertrend invite email right from the get-go when we first create their profile within Buildertrend, and let them know to look out for it, because there's going to be some information there for them to want to review.
I would actually, maybe after this interview, I'd love to see that email that you send out, kind of onboarding them. I think that's an area that we're constantly thinking about at Buildertrend, is our customer success team, incredible, under the dictatorship that is Zach Witovich over there. But they're great.
Don't get them on the pod. They'd be like,
at training our customers. But the part that we struggle with is our customers also have to train their employees, their subcontractors, any new hire they have. So how do you take the awesome customer success machine that we have and kind of cascade that knowledge down to everyone that needs to use Buildertrend? So we should definitely talk about that after this. But I think the last question I have for you is, you guys are clearly very, I'd say, motivated and, I don't know the right word I want to use, but you seem to be continuing to kind of push the boundaries of your current process and adopting new features and taking on new challenges. What kind of advice would you give to builders who are looking for a better way to manage their financial processes, maybe aren't using some of the financial features in Buildertrend, or are scared of, a cost inbox? And what are kind of the hurdles that, you've jumped over that you would give kind of new users advice for how to get going?
So I guess my best advice would be, not be afraid to do it. It's a lot of learning, but it's also, like, we go back to it being user friendly. Like I said before, I never had any experience with any kind of software like this before. Like, I've had finance experience, but not with construction or any of that kind of stuff. So coming into using all of this, it's not as hard as it looks. take the classes that you guys have on here to learn the software and learn how to use it, and just do it. Because if you don't do it, you're going to regret it, and you're going to be a lot more unorganized. But you'll, I guess, the best way to say is just do it. You're going to have to jump in feet first.
Just do it. Another great slogan that you should
maybe avoid that
totally
one.
Not copyrighted.
Yeah. I think it's really hard for new users to see that vision. Would you say even before you came that your company had the same fortitude, or did it take some time? Did it take someone with
fortitude? That's the
You're
word.
looking for fortitude.
Great.
Came back to you.
Specific word.
That's why you have two hosts of the building code. We pick each other up.
I would.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I would definitely say it took a little time. And we're always learning more things that we can do to make our processes better. And having that software there makes it even easier.
Well, I think Buildertrend will continue to roll out new features over the course of this year, and so we'll have to have you on next year after you adopt another new feature, and we'll go through this whole thing again. But we're actually perfectly at time, 25 minutes right on the head. Thank you so much, Amanda, for coming on today. I'm glad I got a chance to meet you. You lived up to the hype of what everyone was telling us before you hopped on, so really appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Burtwhistle, as is tradition here on the Building Code, what is your live reaction?
Live reaction. That was great. Amanda lived up to the hype for sure. I always enjoy this because I am not in my day-to-day here at Buildertrend as in the weeds with the new features that we're rolling out. I'm either involved very, very early, kind of at the idea conception, or very, very late at okay, how's this performing? Cost Inbox was not one that I was involved in the front end, and it hasn't been out long enough for me to be involved in it in the back end. So it's one of those terms I just keep hearing around the office. It's oh no, cost inbox. Cost inbox.
Whispers in the halls.
Yeah. So I saw it on the questions today, and I got fired up because I'm okay, I'm finally going to be able to
learn about it,
what this is. And then I was scared to ask the question because I wanted to make sure I didn't sound like an idiot. So how did I seem like I knew what I was talking about?
I'll be nice. You sounded so great.
Well, luckily we had an expert in Amanda here to explain it to us. And obviously it solves a huge pain point. I'm always super intrigued to hear how people are using Buildertrend because, like you said, everyone uses it a little bit differently. I feel like we need to have a Buildertrend Olympics, and people can apply to come to HQ and show off their Buildertrend
Throw down
skills.
The gauntlet, like the hackathon idea that you mentioned.
But for Buildertrend
users.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a brilliant idea.
Because I'm sure people use it a million different ways, and you have custom fields in there, and you can set up all your own automations and reports and stuff.
Like a Buildertrend builder crossover hackathon where they pair with the team. I love when great ideas are born here on the Building Code.
Yeah, this isn't a bad idea. Let's talk about this more after that. But Amanda was great. Popularis Construction sounds incredible. They're obviously a ton of fortitude diving headfirst into new features, new processes, and kind of leading the charge. So I would say if you're listening to this and you think that you have good ideas, or you really, really like your processes, or you think that there's things that Buildertrend could be doing better, call your coach, ask to talk to Zach Otovich, come to Buildertrend University, ask to be on the customer roundtable. We're always listening, and we want to partner with our customers to make the product as good as it can be.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
And just a little fun aside, this is out for all customers already, so you should have access to it, assuming you're on the advanced or complete package. It is one of those things that in construction is just a huge pain point. The paper trails are long and tedious endeavors, but it's totally worth what you get in return. The whole experience end to end just really makes everything connect. And if people are getting paid, they're happy. If your cash flow's tight, you're happy. Everything just works better when the books and the finances are humming along. And the more easier it is, the better your business is running. And a lot of times that translates into growth and success.
Yes. And also on a personal note, I'm currently waiting for a check from my insurance company.
You mentioned that.
I'm waiting for a bill from my roofing company.
Yep.
And I'm waiting for a bill from my retaining wall company.
Yeah. Your cash flow is looking weak.
Yeah, it is. Well, I couldn't even.
Somebody get this guy the cost inbox.
I couldn't even tell you what it is because I don't have any of those things. Could have to wait for them to come in the mail.
Yeah, true.
So, pain point for your customers as well too. If you're a GC listening to this, gosh, this outro's going on forever. What else do you want to talk about?
That sounds like it's time to wrap it up.
All right, Zach, let's wrap it up. As always, I am Charlie Burtwhistle.
I'm Zach Matovich.
And make sure you like, review, and subscribe. That would really mean a lot to us.
It really would.
Thanks for watching the video. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for exclusive content brought to you by Buildertrend.